Hey there, thanks for watching. Today's video is going to be a collab with the lovely Mary from Pennies Not Perfection and the amazing Kate from Kate Kaden. And if you are coming from their channels, my name is Christiana and my channel is The Well-Behaved Wallet, where my mission is to love the life I have while building a life of my dreams. So without further ado, I am so excited to share with you my picks, my simple, frugal, thrifty picks for gifts in 2019. If you are someone who, like me, is trying to get out of debt and making every single penny count, then this time of year can be a little tricky and require a little bit of extra planning. So here are my gift picks and gift ideas for 2019. These things don't require a ton of sort of searching or extra DIY or anything. These are just very simple, very frugal, very useful gifts that I've either received or given myself and have enjoyed thoroughly. So I'm dividing them up into three categories. So number one are gifts for coworkers, acquaintances, people you might not know super well, but you still want to let them know that they're remembered and have something ready to go. Also, these are things that you can make ahead, and if someone gives you a gift and you weren't really expecting to get a gift from them, you can just kind of give them one as well and say, oh yeah, I got you something too. The second category is gifts that apply for anyone, that are generally thought of as very useful and will be real well received. I've gotten these myself, I've given these, and they're always very appreciated. And then the third category, and this is something I have kind of peripheral exposure to, is gifts for kids, because what better than to be a kid at Christmas? And it's always nice if you have nieces, nephews, children. If you have kids, you know what to get them, whatever. But if you are around kids and need some ideas, these are some things that I've seen kids receive or have given kids and they really appreciate. So without further ado, I will jump into my picks for 2019. So the first category is gifts for coworkers or acquaintances or people you might not know super well. And I have been on this debt-free journey for a while, and sort of the number one recommendation that I've heard and also kind of taken to heart is to give things that people will use or consume rather than things that will just gather dust and be clutter. Rather than clutter passing, try to be a little more thoughtful in the gifts that you give. So it would lean toward consumables and things that people can consume or use up. So my picks for that, and these are things that I wouldn't necessarily have thought would be useful, but actually were, and kind of a lot of fun. So they are things like cookies, chocolate balls, and for savorier people who might be watching, I guess, calories or their weight, things like nuts, pretzels, and Chex Mix. So little things that you can give people to let them know that you're thinking of them, but won't necessarily, gather dust. So those things, and I got a cookie in a jar gift 2 years ago from a family at church, and I wasn't expecting to enjoy making it as much as I did. I was just at home one evening, I was hanging out with my mom, and I'm like, what can we do? And we had this cookie jar, and I'm like, let's make cookies. And the cookies were really, really good. They were like peppermint chocolate chip, and they were delicious. And I try to stay away from sweets as much as possible, but I found that these cookies were a lot of fun, and it was the holidays, so I kind of let myself indulge, and it was so much fun to think of this person while I was making those cookies and enjoy that fun time with my mom, and I also remember this person. So I would highly lean toward consumables, things like that. Another gift idea for if you're handing something out at work, Rachel Lynn had mentioned that she uses those little lint truffles and puts them in a bag. And if you don't already watch Rachel Lynn's channel, you totally should. She's amazing. She posts her get out of debt story and her weekly spending. So I'll link her channel below as well. So those things as well are I find them fun to receive. Again, that's kind of on the sweet side. So she said she would put 3 truffles in a bag and then tie them and then put a little note. And I thought that was a great idea. So I'm actually going to be doing that this year for my colleagues. and have those just ready to hand out to let them know that I'm thinking about them and I really genuinely enjoy working with them. So I'm excited to do that this year. And then for people who, like I mentioned, are maybe not on the sweet side and lean towards something more savory, I used to make Chex Mix, like a fresh handmade Chex Mix, and that kind of took a lot of work. So at one point I gave up and just bought bags of Chex Mix and like put them into little decorative gift bags and then handed those out, which I felt like was kind of cheating, but was a lot easier. Same idea. The idea that you're thinking of someone, you wanted to let them know that you thought of them. So that's on the food side. So two other gifts that are not food related that are very useful, that I find are useful, are things like, number one, a candle. And I actually just searched on Etsy and found some really neat kits that you can put together, ideas for kits. There was one that had a candle and matches and a little card. And I thought that was really neat as well, because then that's everything right there. That you need to enjoy your candle. I have just recently gotten into candles for my home because I've been on this decluttering journey, and in this newly decluttered space, I want to do something warm and cozy to kind of bring a homey, pleasant feel to the area, and I've really enjoyed candles a lot. I got one recently from Aldi that smells fantastic. It's a soy-based candle in the balsam fir scent, and I was very pleasantly surprised because they can be really expensive. You can find some great deals. Again, at places like Aldi or TJ Maxx is where I got mine. So that I would say is under the $10 range, and it's just a fun gift to give really to anyone, but especially to those people that you're not really sure about. It's kind of a general all-purpose gift. And the second gift is hand cream, because I've seen, I actually have some right here that was a Christmas gift. This is Bliss Body Butter, and I actually saw these at TJ Maxx, and I know the person that gave it to me probably picked that up there in the discount section from the year before. Thoroughly appreciate it, and I'm still using it and thinking of the person that gave it to me today. So that is another great gift for someone that you're not really sure about, or someone that you might not know that well. The second category of gifts are people that you do know, but may not necessarily have specific ideas of things to get them. And these are things that I've gotten from friends, coworkers, colleagues, close friends and acquaintances, but still really appreciated. And the number one gift that I've gotten that I love to give, and it's very simple, but it's just a scarf, like a really, really nice scarf, because I find that if I buy like the cheaper ones, I'm always losing them, and it's nice to have one that's like really nice and warm. So that's actually one of the things, aside from like family and friends, that's one of my most favorite Christmas gifts that I was ever given. It was by a boss of mine, and it was very unexpected. He actually bought one for everyone in the office, and each one was different, and each one was sort of selected with us in mind, and I love and cherish that scarf to this day. So that is probably my number one pick, and I love giving really, really nice scarves. I've been asked to select gifts for other people, and that's always my go-to because it's kind of a personal thing, and it's also something that is universally appreciated. The second gift would be a book, maybe a book that you are reading, or a book like a coffee table book that someone can kind of learn from and appreciate in their surroundings. You got to be careful with this one though, because even though you might mean well, you got to think about how the recipient would receive it. So one year I gave family member a book on like dreams, like manifesting your dreams and making, your goals a reality, and they did not appreciate that. They took it as kind of like a slight criticism of their life, and I felt terrible because that was not the intent at all. So I kind of stick to pretty universal things. Like I think this year, I know that if someone doesn't already have the Marie Kondo book, that's a good one that's going around. So really anything kind of general related to a topic that they're interested in, or something that you think that you've been reading and you might enjoy sharing with them is a good gift. The third gift would be just a good pair of gloves, because again, like a scarf, I'm always losing them, and it's nice to have an extra pair on hand. There's something that you can use, especially obviously in the colder months. I'm actually planning on giving a pair to a really good friend, because she mentioned that she wanted a pair of like the convertible mittens, but didn't want to buy it for herself. And I'm like, perfect, I will buy that for you. Like I didn't tell her, but that's what I was thinking, because I love receiving gloves, and I too. It's not something that I would necessarily buy for myself, so I'm excited to give that to her. And then the fourth gift is something that I would actually love to receive, and that's plants, like this one right here. I really need to start taking better care of this, but I really love having fresh living things in my space. Again, being on this decluttering journey, I appreciate having a space that's inviting and warm and full of life, and I feel like plants really kind of foster that type of a space. So, and this is also a great gift that I love to give to people when I'm going to their house, is something like flowers or like poinsettias in a container, like in a pot that you can just go and leave, rather than like flowers that they would have to put in water. So just to like bring a beautiful plant or something is a wonderful sort of housewarming gift. Although I will say, when I went to go visit my sister and we spent Thanksgiving Day with her in-laws, we bought like a flower arrangement. It was in a little like Thanksgiving basket, and we gave the arrangement to my sister, to her fiance's daughter, to give to them, and she gave it to them. It was like really nice, and they were like, okay, like, all right. And they didn't realize that it was actually alive, and later in the day they were kind of smelling them, and the flowers, I'm like, oh, they're real. I'm like, yep, they're real, because they kind of were that decorative looking that they didn't seem real. So just caution against that. Be like, oh yeah, you do have to water them, and they will stay alive for you. I've also received a gift like this actually almost 4 years ago now, and it was like an ivy, like an arrangement that had climbing ivy, and I just kept it and kept watering it and kept kind of putting it in the sunlight and tending to it, and it's still alive today, 4 years later. And I always think about the party that I had that where that person brought that gift. So that was a lot of fun, and I really appreciated that. So that is my fourth idea for people that you do know and want to kind of celebrate. So this last category is gifts for kids. And again, I mentioned I have just kind of like peripheral exposure to kids. I have a lot of friends with kids, and I really enjoy spending time with their kids and not spoiling them, but kind of like giving them little things. So these are ideas that I have either given or seen given, and they were very well received. They're really interesting. So I have a friend whose daughter really loves purses, and so for a girl, like, I would get like a little pouch, and I would put fun things in the pouch, like stickers, pencils, crayons, little craft things that they can like maybe make a bracelet with, and I put them all in a little pouch so they all have a home, because as someone who's trying to become more minimalist, I firmly believe that everything should have a home, and the sooner you learn that, the better. So anything that's like an activity or a self-contained thing is well received. So for kids, I also try not to give any type of like sweets or candy or things like that, because you never know, A, allergies, or B, like if the parent doesn't necessarily want them to have sugar, or if the parent wants to be in control of the sugar that they are consuming. I try to be respectful of that. So any kind of activity set, I try to like give things that have some educational value to them. And the second thing is, I don't know how well received this is by the parents, but I love giving Legos, and I actually also love receiving Legos as well. So I'll pick out like a Lego gift set. Like, I just love giving them for anyone, boys, girls. It doesn't matter. It's kind of like a across the board fun thing to have, because they're like miniature, and you can kind of like, you can sort of be in control of that like little universe that you're building. And then the third thing is anything along those lines, anything miniature. I know for girls, Polly Pocket is still really big, and then for boys, there's little like trucks and cars and stuff that they can kind of be the master of. So those have all been very well received for the kids that are in my life as well. So these are my picks for gifts in 2019. Let me know the best gifts that you've either received or given. What's been the most well received in your experience? I can't wait to hear what you have to say. As well, don't forget to check out, or if you've come from them already, Kate Caden and Mary from Pennies Not Perfection. I will link to their videos down below, and I can't wait to check out their gift picks for this year as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you'll keep watching. Bye!